So powerful. Thank you so much, Lisa. That was very powerful. Guys, I tell you, what we have in our hands is just amazing. So I just want to give you a little background on what this technology is all about. Okay, so what we're talking about and what Lisa was sharing was the X39 and how powerful it is and how it changed her life. So I just want to go into and give you some detail on exactly what this technology is doing. This is not what you call any kind of supplement or anything that's going into your body, which is amazing. And we have a incredible inventor, Mr. David Schmidt, who is the creator of over 200 patents. He has over 200 patents. He has 80 clinical studies, and he is won so many awards worldwide. And he is a scientist, inventor, and the CEO of the company. Now, that's very important because it speaks to the integrity of the product. It speaks to his commitment to what he has created. And this is not a fly-by-night product. This is not something that, like somebody, some of those things they wanted us all to get that didn't have any real studies for a lengthy time. This has been studied for over 20 years, phototherapy. And so he spent over 10 years and $4.5 million to bring this technology to market. And you can actually read the patent. You will be able to see for yourself exactly what the patent says. And so that's the good thing. Everything is very transparent. You'll be able to hear thousands of testimonies. We're going to hear some more today, but you're going to hear more. But I want to tell you a little bit about what goes on with your stem cells. A lot of people don't realize it, but fewer stem cells you have, the faster you age and the slower you heal. Hundreds of millions of people are experiencing symptoms of aging every single day. Actually, by the time you are 30 years old, only half of your stem cells are active and even working. And at the age 60, you lose almost all stem cell activity. And that's why you notice that people's health begins to decline. It's like they can't exercise enough, they can't drink enough of the right water with the right minerals or take enough supplements, and still things are declining in our bodies. But when our stem cells are awake, let me tell you, your body has a fighting chance to turn back the hands of time and to actually create something which I call ageless, to become ageless. Age, a lot of people now are realizing, is nothing but a number. It really has more to do with how you feel and how you're able to live your life to the fullest. And that's exactly what the X39 is giving us the ability to do. It is actually a proprietary form of phototherapy. It's patented nanocrystal technology, and it reflects the light that is actually we all have. It's completely around our bodies. If you were to wear some of those those goggles, and you were in the dark, you would be able to see a light around each of us, right? And I remember I shared a video on my Facebook with a little boy. He would put a light bulb in his hand and the light bulb would come on. We have enough electricity in our bodies to actually power a light bulb. Is that amazing? Now, I'm not sure why he was able to do it and we are unable to do it, but he was able to do it without any other, apparatus, which is amazing, but it's very true. The light that we have in our bodies is extremely powerful, and the technology that we have in our hands is completely non-transdermal. There's no drugs, no stimulants, and it's completely non-invasive. And when I say no drugs and no stimulants, let me tell you why we know that this is also the truth. It's because this product was used not only by the Navy SEALs, which they probably would have been okay with stimulants and chemicals, but the Olympics, no, 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 no. There are right now athletes utilizing this technology, and during and before the Olympics. And that would seem to me like that might be, if it was something going into your body, that would definitely be something they would not allow. And that's because you can't have an edge. You can't have an edge like that. But we are providing people with more energy, more a way for their bodies to heal more rapidly. Just to give you some examples, we have increased strength, reduced inflammation, increased stamina, and we all want stamina. It helps you to exercise. And as Lisa said, she lost a lot of weight. And the truth is, you will lose weight when you're able to move around more. I've talked to so many people that have utilized the product only later to find out that they stopped going to the gym. They stopped running like they normally would have in the past because their bodies were too tired or they had too much pain. But their mobility has increased. Now they're going back to the gym. I've had talked to so many. I mean, this is women too. We talked to women that said they were wearing flats for the last 4 years and now they have the heels on in a week. I'm like, wait a minute, slow down. And then we have a lot of gentlemen who will say that they went back to their trainer and like, wait a minute, you just got free of the pain for like a week. And you're telling me you went back to the trainer, you signed up for a marathon. Wait a minute, slow down. But it's the truth. When you start to feel better and have more energy, guess what? You feel like you can do anything. You feel like a superhero. You really do. And so you have more energy, more vitality, and you have more mental clarity. Restored muscle and skeletal conditions have been improved. Things like people who have, scoliosis and things of that nature. People's bones are healing more effectively, and also improved sleep. I've had several people that told me that their sleep and their dreams are like in technicolor, like they can see it, and when they wake up, they remember those dreams. And so, yeah, they're getting more restorative sleep, which is absolutely important when you're trying to heal your body, right? Every day. If you only get a little sleep, it's going to start to wear and tear on you. Absolutely. Improve skin appearance. We all want our skin to look our best as we age. And you see when some people, it looks like maybe they could have done something, maybe they went to sun too much or something happened. Nobody wants to have accelerated aging on their skin. So this is the reality. We're dealing with achieving optimal health, which is a state of complete physical, mental, and social well-being. Okay. And so, guys, they're also long-term results. Okay. And per case studies and also peer-reviewed studies through major universities like Morehouse here in Atlanta and several others internationally, what we found is that there are over 4,000 of your genes begin to reset within the first few days. That's why people will tell you, some people will say, I felt something on the first day, in 3 days, or what have you. And then some people can take longer. It just depends on what the state of your body is. But this is the thing. If you were to drink a glass of wine, only 2 of your genes begin to reset. 2. I just said 4,000 of your genes reset. And that's why doctors are absolutely enamored with this technology because they realize that this is powerful. This is not like a supplement that takes 6 weeks to get in your system. Oftentimes, people start to notice things right away. And you heard Lisa's testimony. I think it was almost that same day when Heinz put the patch on her that she felt relief, right? So within 6 weeks, your brain becomes more balanced. And within 3 months, your collagen is increased. And that affects the tissues and the connective tissues in your body, which is amazing. And also, within 6 months, your heart reverses in age. All right. So if you guys can mute your line, that'd be great. Thank you so much. Hold on, let me go ahead and mute. Yeah. So within 6 months, your heart reverses in age. Now, where do they do that? Okay. So you already know that if you've been taking a lot of medication, that your heart can take a toll on your heart, on all your organs. And so we have so many people who were ex-athletes who have kidney failure because the medication that they were taking was so strong that it just damaged their organs. I'm going to ask you guys, if you would, to mute your cameras. I appreciate it. It'll keep the call nice and clean and it won't be distracting. If you can just mute your camera, that'd be great. If you're a speaker and you're going to share, then I will let you know when you can unmute your camera. Thank you. All right. So just go ahead and mute that camera for me if you can, if you know how to do it. If you don't, I'm not mad. I know sometimes it takes a moment to really understand Zoom. It's okay. So now how do you wear this X39? It's very simple. You wear 12 hours on and 12 hours off to repair and rejuvenate your body. Then you throw the patch away. Then you put a new patch on and you repeat. It's very simple. A fifth grader could do it. It's like putting a sticker on and moving on with your day. This is the easiest way that I've ever heard of anybody improving their health. How can you wear more? Can you wear the more than one at a time? Yes, you can. You can. Well, the one thing we encourage you to do is drink plenty of fluids. Because what we see is we see changes in blood flow when we do all of our we have so many diagnostics and so many tests that show and prove that something is happening in the body when you put that patch on there. And so you're going to need to drink more water and in many cases add some minerals to that water so that it will even work more effectively. But also the patch is going to be looking for things that doesn't belong there. And it will start pushing that out of your body. So it will, in some cases, detox you, particularly if you have a lot of chemicals in your body. Okay. So, but drinking plenty of water is essential. And really, we're all supposed to be drinking lots of water anyway. Right. So if you say, well, I don't like drinking water, well, this is a wake up call. That means you don't like healing. That means you don't like feeling your best. That means you don't like having energy. So I want to encourage you to go ahead and add as much as you can to that water to make it taste good, other than sugar. Add, because that would be defeating the purpose. Add some fresh fruits, some cucumbers, or whatever you have to do to give it a flavor. But definitely, let's get that water in, guys. Okay. So now, if you're saying to yourself, I'd like to see this information firsthand, and you can go to thisisitinfo.com, and there's some very informative videos there that I encourage you to take a look at. There are probably three in particular. One of them is going to be telling you about how the product works. It's going to be telling you how you wear the product, and then you're going to have access to learning from a doctor's panel. And I'm going to tell you a little bit more if you got on this call today to just hear about the product. Well, great. We definitely want to get you started so you can start to utilize and get the breakthrough. And do not forget about your family and friends who are limping by you while you're running by them. Once you put this product on, you want to be able to share it. Okay. Sharing is caring. And so, you, like I said, you want to share the product and then you want to be able to share the information. And you can just do that simply by going to thisisitinfo.com. And as I was saying, when you go there, you'll see testimonies from doctors, several doctors, and one doctor in particular. He said that this is the greatest invention that he's seen in 40 years of him being a doctor. That's how serious it is for him. He doesn't work for the company. He is just like many of the people that invited you on this call. He is just somebody who's very passionate about it, because the one thing that we know about doctors, just like anybody else, is they want to feel their best, just like all athletes, just like any person. We want to feel our best. And some people, even doctors, are depressed. I have a gentleman on the team who's a doctor. He's a gastroenterologist. And he said, what people don't know, Erica, is that so many doctors die in the hospital. Now that's got to be a book. Okay. He said, listen, I have personally resuscitated 3 doctors while working in the hospital. And he said that, he remember he was on the elevator and somebody just collapsed, because the reality is you don't know 100% of what's going on in your body. You just don't know. Right. And so you can have a blockage in your heart. And that's why doctors are clamoring to this. They're talking about, the carotid arteries being cleared. They're talking about major things that could only be restored that they know of, but through surgery. And we know surgery is not always successful. We know sometimes people come out of there with other issues. And so we're talking about a non-invasive, easy way to deal with a lot of health issues. And so I have another young lady on the call who is phenomenal. I love her. And she is also an ex-athlete. No, I'm sorry. I think she's still an athlete, but she has had an incredible testimony too as a result of this technology. And I'm wondering if Miss Lauren Stewart is out there.
Yes, I am.
Lauren, how are you? I think I lost you. I can't hear you right this minute, but I'm sure you'll be back. It may be you may be breaking up. Sometimes that happens. I know I was
Okay,
having that
here.
issue.
Can you see me?
Yes, I can see you. Hi, beautiful. How are you?
Awesome. Hello, everyone.
Hey, so yes, please tell us your testimony. What happened to you with X39? And tell everyone how old you are.
Yes. Well, hello, everyone. My name is Lauren Stewart. I am 27 years old, and I have been wearing the X39 now for about 2.5 years. And so, so I was introduced to the X39 right after I finished my college softball career, where I played mostly at University of South Carolina, which I actually am repping right now. Go Gamecocks! And so I was out while I was playing there. I graduated with my bachelor's and master's degrees. And in 2018, my junior year, I actually had hip surgery. I had hip surgery to repair a torn labrum in my left hip as a result of a condition called femur acetabular impingement, FAI for short, which basically means, in layman's terms, I had lots of different bone spurs in my left hip that caused my labrum to shred up over time. And so I had that surgery in 2018. 14 months later, I had shoulder surgery to repair a torn labrum in my left shoulder. And so, leading up to those surgeries and after, I had different things to try to mask the pain, calm the pain down, like oxycodone, which is what I was prescribed right after surgery. And I had to be talked into that one because I don't even like to take Tylenol. And so, when they said, we're going to prescribe you oxycodone, I was like, do we need that? They said, you're going to be in a lot of pain. And so, you have to take one before you leave the hospital, and then we'll send your prescription to the pharmacy. So, I said, okay. So I took one, of course, before leaving the hospital. And then the next pill, my mom and I, we actually cut that pill in half. I said, I don't want to take this full one. I know so many athletes who've actually had an addiction from surgeries that they had while playing on the field. And so I said, I just don't want that stuff in my system. So we cut that pill in half. And then I was so sick for the next 2.5 weeks. I was throwing up all over the place. I couldn't walk because I just had hip surgery. So I had to be carried to the restroom. But in case I couldn't make it there, I had to walk around with a bucket in front of me for 2 weeks just in case I started vomiting. So that was very rough. So the oxycodone, that did more harm than good. I had steroid injections that didn't really give me too much of a relief. But the PRP injections, I had PRP injections, and those are very similar to stem cell injections where they're basically used to heal, basically, your body heals itself with it. But they're very expensive. You're using your own body, you're using your own blood. There's a very extensive process with it. But it it's a lot. It's very expensive. It can go for 5, 10, 15, $20,000 per injection. And it's localized, meaning it's only going to help the area in which you get that injection. So I actually had the hip condition and both of my hips. So I had to pick and choose which hip hurt the most once every 5 to 6 months when I would get that injection and get that injection there. So I did that for the last 3 years of my college career. And then fast forward, I finished up the summer of 2022 is when I was introduced to the X39. I just finished my college career in the spring of 2022. And about a month and a half later, I was introduced to this patch by my dad. And I saw my dad been wearing it for about a week. And so he went from thinking that he was going to have knee replacement surgery to within 1 week, all of his knee pain was gone. And I saw my dad go from limping around to being able to run and jog. I said, this is incredible. So he said, hey, Lauren, put this on your hip, put it on your shoulder. Let me know what happens. Now, part of me was like, oh my gosh, this little quarter-sized patch, what is this going to do? Because I was thinking about, I spent so many years with the training staff at the football stadium, at the softball stadium, using all of these equipments that cost $50,000, $100,000 plus. And you're telling me this little patch did that for you? So I saw what happened to him. So I was also excited. So the first day I put the patch on my shoulder and I was working out with one of my softball clients and I noticed, wait a second, my shoulder is no longer popping and clicking when I was doing arm circles. And so anyone who's ever had rotator cuff or labrum issues can relate to that popping and clicking sensation. So I kept wearing it. A week into wearing the patches when I noticed a natural increase in energy. Now that was huge for me because I was diagnosed with hypothyroidism my sophomore year of college, which had me exhausted. I was planning my days around a nap. I said, okay, can I get a 15-minute nap in before class? What about a 30-minute nap in after study hall? That's how my entire college career went. But now I'm wearing the patch for only a week and my energy has increased naturally. And it wasn't caffeine jittery like, very natural. So then I continued to wear the patch because my dad said the longer you wear it, the more benefits you'll experience. So I said, okay, let me keep on wearing the patch. Around month 3 is when I noticed a significant decrease in that hip pain. I was no longer waking up sore on the left side of my body where I had the hip surgery and shoulder surgery. I was no longer able to tell when it was going to rain outside because my joints were no longer talking to me. And anyone with any type of joint pain knows what I'm talking about. And then with every month that passed since, which has been since October 2022, every single month, my hips have gotten stronger. My shoulders have gotten stronger. I'm back to doing pull ups and chin ups in the weight room. I'm back to doing squats like a 90-degree angle, both things that used to bother me, especially if I did it for a long period of time. So it's been a complete turnaround. And it's been very cool to see not just what it's done for me, my entire family. My mom, she stopped snoring the first night that she started wearing the patch. And she snored my entire 25 years at that point. My brother recovers from exercise so much faster. And I've introduced it to so many of my different teammates, and they have testimonies of their own. One in particular had 4 concussions between high school and college. And the first day she put the patch on, I didn't tell her anything that it does. She was actually having issues with having pain from her menstrual cycle. And she asked me if I had Advil. I said, I don't have Advil, but I have this patch. Turn around, put it on her back where she was having pain. And within a few hours, well, first within 10 to 15 minutes, her back pain had gone away. And then within a few hours, she said, does this help with your mind, like with your mentals? I said, well, yeah, it does actually. She said, because it's been helping me focus a lot better. I'm very focused. And she'd had those concussions. She'd been diagnosed with ADHD, depression. So it's been very cool to see what it's doing, not just for myself, but for other people. And it's been a blessing to be able to share. So thank you so much, Miss Erica, for allowing me to share my testimony.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Lauren. That was so powerful what you shared. So many incredible experience and testimonials. And to think that you're also building a business. And so to get into that a little bit too. And so for those of you that are on the line that want to get the product, obviously you have a little more information to work with, some more testimonies, but you can also get more testimonies off of thisisitinfo.com, and you can go to the very top of the page and you'll be able to just go through a so many different testimonies for every part of your body, whether it be mentally, whether it be vision, whether it be hearing, whether it be your skin, whether it be your heart, whether it be your breathing, whether it be, you know, an organ or kidney or your lungs or whatever the case may be. The product has case studies as well as really incredible, um, you know,
I don't remember.
ways to
Never putting
heal
it down.
just about. Let me mute that, guys. Just
Right?
about everything imaginable that you can think of. Like I always say, like Jill Scott said, from your hair follicle to your toenail, this product, when somebody told me it was getting rid of their varicose veins in their leg, and then someone else told me that it helped them with their bunion, and the shoes that they had not been able to fit forever were now fitting. I said, whoa. Not to mention gums. People are talking about their gums getting healed. And as you get older, things happen with your gums. Things happen with just about every part of your body. And it's just amazing what really happens with us as we get older. So having active stem cells is absolutely imperative. And the thing is, if you were to go and get a stem cell treatment, the traditional one, what you'd find out is that you have to get an injection and it's localized in one area. You don't necessarily get any kind of, you know, refund if it doesn't work. And sometimes you're talking about ten, $20,000. You may have heard of people like Tony Robbins, who is on fire about it. He wrote a book about it and he's promoting it very heavily. But the stem cell injections that he's talking about are 25,000. And that's why people go all over the world to get stem cell injections. They go to Mexico, they go to the UK. And when they go to the UK, they have to stay over there for 6 months once they get the shots. So it's not something that's just cavalier. You know, you still have to be very careful where you go and where you get them. And again, sometimes they don't work. I've heard it a million times. People say it just never worked. But what we're talking about here is a very cost effective way to reboot your whole system so that you're healthier. We have people whose A1C is pretty much dropping rapidly, right? We have people who actually have gotten off all their diabetic medication, have cut major meds, like if they're taking 13, by the time they look up, they're on just a few things. And in some cases, most people will find that they can decide with their doctor to completely change the direction that they're going with their health and how they're treating themselves. And so the testimonies go on and on and on. And so we want to encourage you to also do a deep dive at thisisit.info.com so that you can see some of the other amazing miracles that are happening. But not only are people having breakthroughs with their health, but they're having breakthroughs financially. And we have so many astute individuals that have joined this company, whether they be ex-athletes, whether they be attorneys, whether they be, you know, just doctors, people from all walks of life are excited about this product. And one of those individuals who is super excited, and I'm gonna have them come on, and then I'm gonna tell you about some of the ways that we get paid around here. But anyhow, I've known this gentleman for, I'm gonna say 15 years. I was 15 years. I don't tell all this. I'm gonna tell this now, Hines. I've known him for 15 years. He's been involved. He's a major. He has a partnership in a company which is a billion-dollar business. And I didn't really think to call him right away when I, first heard about this, but I saw him out and I was dancing and he was, I said, wait a minute, I know you. And we started connecting. And from there, he was telling me what was going on with his invention, the inventors that he's working with, and I was telling him what's going on with me and the inventor that I've been working with. So we've known each other from other business ventures where a lot of money has been made. And not only that, but this gentleman, as Lisa said, in my opinion, is a gentle giant. He is very tall. And I love the story that he tells me about his brothers. He had four brothers and they all were 6'7". He said they would get out to play basketball and everybody be like, oh, no, they're not playing with us, right? And so I love that story. And let me tell you, he's an ex-professional uh, baseball player, right? But he's a basketball player. He's just an athlete all around, and he rolls with athletes. And so he's been sharing his technology all over the country because that's what he does. He travels all over the country. And so I'm wondering if Mr. Hines, are you there?
Blessings, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Hello, everybody. Hello, Life Wave. Once again, it's an honor to be before everybody, and I've been busy. Like she said, I've been blessed to. I'm running a company that is really in the $1 trillion industry space, dealing with rust and corrosion on all the bridges. And for those that really don't know my background, yeah, I've been blessed to play pro ball, but I was heading to actually the NBA before one of my friends who know Emmett Smith, and I'm not just a no name drop, but I'm gonna keep it real. But one of my best friends who went to college with me, who introduced me to Emmett and Michael Irvin, all the guys in Pensacola, Florida, and he convinced me to go out for baseball. And I played every sport coming up, and I ended up going out pitching. A lot of people know I throw about 98 pitching, if you understand baseball. And I ended up going to the championship with the team. And I was sitting on the bench, and coach said, get in the game, Hines. And I ended up grounding out to the second baseman on a routine ground ball. And I ended up running a 3-1. They clocked me at 3-1. We talking about Dion speed from home to first base. 6'7" at 3-1. And everybody as athletes on this call know what that means. And I throw 98 pitching, and really, and 2 months later, everybody I ended up, the Blue Jays got me in the draft. It was an honor to witness being with the team. A lot of you know who watch baseball. Joe Carter hit the home run and win the World Series for us in 92, 93. Joe was my mentor. A lot of people don't know that. Like I said, he used to give me his bats and gloves and shoes. I mean, I had a whole bag full of all his stuff. And of course, I came up with three brothers, all 6'7". We're from the North Carolina area where we compete against, we came up in the Jordan area. Jordan's a little bit older than me, but I had my brothers that, competed with them, with Dominique, all of them. My baby brother played overseas all over the world, in Italy against Ginobili. A lot of just, my other twin brother, a lot of people don't know I have a twin. They played at Clemson and competed. And so, but I was blessed to play 5 years. Came out and ended up getting ready to go back into the NBA, worked out with a lot of teams from the Hawks to the Dallas Mavericks. But my life took a turn in 2000 when I went to the Mavericks camp. and compete against, Michael Finley, all of them, Chris Leitner. That's when Steve Nash and Dirk was in their prime. And a lot of people know I went in, I destroyed everybody in camp. A lot of people know I'm a very competitive guy. And like I said, you don't have to ask me, ask them. They know who Mr. Hines is on the court, but God had a bigger calling for me to go into business. And I began to get involved with different network marketing opportunities, whether it was Amway, Prime America, Prepaid Legal, 5 Links. Y'all know about it. I mean, I've done everything. If I didn't get in, I went and I spoke. They will call me in to speak and close. I'm a closer because I believe that, like you said, you have to be on the ground floor level of great opportunities with a great product, with great people, and you will win. And that's what I like about LifeWave. And when Miss Erica called me to tell me about this patch, I remember going to the meeting in Atlanta, and the testimonies what blew me away. It was the testimonies that got me literally everybody. I was in tears listening to the testimonies in Atlanta when people had strokes. They would come back with reports. People that one guy had a hole in his heart that healed back because of the stem cell patch. People that had pain in their feet. We talk about sciatic nerve pain gone in 3 to 4 days. And I remember getting the patch, putting it on. And a lot of you know, if you don't know me, I love singing. I love dancing. I used to entertain as a little kid. I was been in the church world since I was 5, playing drums. I sung in the choir. I was performed with Shirley Caesar. I was actually blessed to Keith Sweat asked me to perform with them 112. A lot of groups because I sing for real. Okay, I sing. I mean, Bishop, all the bishops. I mean, I remember one time getting up at New Birth and singing. They said, "What? How'd you sing too?" I said, "Yeah, Bishop, I can sing." So, but I was blessed to really just to be able to spend time with a lot of people in different arenas and different industries. And that's what allowed me to be able to take products and take information back to whether it's the bishops and say, "Bishop, listen, it's one thing that God's going to heal us, but God, we got to get the product to make it happen." Okay, we know that God's a healer, but God sent people and he sent products and he's saying other things that bring that healing our way. And that's one thing that I had to minister to a lot of the spiritual leaders about is that, God help those who help themselves, and he uses people and things to bring the blessing our way. And I was really, really big on, talking to the bishops about that, talking to my athletes friends. So when I got this patch, what really blew me away is when I took it to LeBron's agent, okay? And Erica was with me, to my LeBron's first agent from high school. And he had a hip problem, hip surgery coming up. We went to his house and he put that patch on. Matter of fact, I got pictures and videos of it. And within 3 days, Erica's a witness. Come on back in the thing, Erica. Unmute your phone. When she was witness, in 3 days, he called me on the phone, could not believe he was up jogging, running. He called his coaches from the NFL, said, "I'm ready to hit somebody. I can't believe that I'm jogging and running." And I'm telling you, that brought tears and joy to my eyes. And listen, that's what got me hyped to see my friends, okay? See NFL players, NBA guys, okay? Some of my NBA guys came to the thing and confirmed that this is real. So I'm so excited. And then what blew me away, we had another player that runs, that competed like Deion Sanders, that's very athletic. Mr. Ricky out of Houston, Texas, one of the greatest athletes. He had so much pain in his body. He had sciatic nerve pain so bad, everybody. For 7 days, he would be in the bed and could not get out of the bed. And when he walked, it was like walking on pins and needles. And within 3 days or 4 days of wearing the patch, he called me, Erica, literally crying on the phone with joy that his pain was gone. Okay, folks, we're talking about this is real. I so much that I can say. Okay, I'm gonna show y'all something. You see this picture right here, Miss Erica? Can everybody see this picture?
I see it.
Who is that in the picture? You met him before. That's my media guy, Mr. Who? Dwight Carroll. Do you remember him, Erica, speaking to him?
Yeah.
Okay, where everybody, he's dead and gone. My best friend is dead and gone. We ain't playing games. He died. He died of prostate cancer. So it's time for us to get busy. I'm going to challenge everybody. This is real. Get with your families. I got on the phone with my family. I got on the phone with egotistic guys that think they know everything in the NFL. I remember getting on a call with them. I told them to shut up and let me talk. This is real. And we better take this serious. People, listen, that's one death I experienced. I lost over 9-10 people within the last 6 months, everybody, of strokes, heart attacks. Just got another call. Somebody got diagnosed with cancer, got 3 months to live. You listen, everybody, we better take this serious. Get with your families. I don't care if you got to sit down. It's amazing. We can sit and let your kids and everybody play Tendo or foolishness, but we won't sit down and talk to something about something serious about health. We have to take this serious and take it to everybody we know. Because guess what? We only got one life to live. One life to live. I got other people that just got a call. Cancer, people dying. And in these last days, I just want to spend time with being involved with products that's life and death. If it ain't life and death, I'm not doing it and I'm not promoting it. This company, listen, Dr. David Smith don't need us. y'all don't get it. He's already successful. This doctor, it's a blessing. He is, to me, the number one chemist. I deal with chemists. I have the chemist in the number one chemist I've been dealing with for over 29 years is the top polymer chemist in the world. But David Smith tops all of that because why? He's saving lives. He's helping us live a long life because of what God blessed him to come out with this stem cell patch. And I just want to encourage you, like King said, I'm not trying to impress you, but I'm trying to press upon you to tell everybody. You know what I'm saying? I'm telling everybody about somebody and tell everybody about the patch. I love you all. I'll see you at the top.
Wow, 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 Hines. I love your passion, but God, you know what? You know what? I just experienced a death. It was due to a car accident. But when you lose someone, it really does, hit you hard, and it makes you really think about this life that we have and what we want to accomplish and how we want to make an impact. Because you can tell people about things all day long, but guess what? Sometimes they don't want to listen. They don't want to listen. Okay. I've literally shared things with family members. They don't want to listen. I'm trying to tell you, because the reality is they don't necessarily understand natural health. And so I don't know if you're somebody on this line that understands natural health. The bottom line here is, how can we get to the root, more closely to the root of the issue? And once we can do that, we can begin to break through and really make an impact. Okay. So if you're on this line and you want to make an impact in your health, the health of your family, if you want to make an impact when it comes to finances, anybody that wants to be a virtual millionaire, I'm going to tell you a little bit about that right now. So just imagine this, and I'm not going to go in great detail. We do have another call. We go in great detail on the compensation plan. You can also go to This Is It info and get all the information on the compensation plan. But the bottom line is, compensation plan is nothing without the right product. And without a product that answers the needs of people. We have that here, okay? And so just keep that in mind, guys, that we're talking about people becoming virtual millionaires, okay? So just imagine this. You have $1 million and you invested at 6%. That money's just sitting there, right? And now you are earning, let's say, $5,000 a month. So what we like to do is show you, and let me just say something, I'm being extremely modest on this call today, because I'm saying it like this because I feel like you might be able to embrace or absorb or hear what I'm saying. And that is about you making potentially another $5,000 a month. And we already know in this economy, if you made $500 more a month, it would be life-changing. But what if I could show you a way to make an extra $5,000? Would you be excited? Yes. And you would be, for all practical purposes, a virtual millionaire. You'd be someone who was earning residual income similar to someone who had $1 million in the bank. Okay. So what this is all about is just sharing it with people. And initially, the first goal is to share it with 2 people that see the vision and build this, and they decide they want to get positioned to share this with the world. Okay. Many of you may know or may not know that I built an organization, an international organization all over the world of over 250,000 partners. I had no idea that was going to happen. At the time, I was a stay-at-home mom. I had absolutely no idea. I was just teaching my daughter her letters and her numbers and, decorating my house and having a good old time, right? But then I decided to do it because my spouse lost his income. He's working for NBC and he lost his income. And so I had to get in there and roll up my sleeves and do something so that we did not lose our brand new house that we had built from scratch. Okay. I said, no, 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 no. I'm going to get in here. And that's when I started taking a look at this industry. And the one thing that I found out in this industry was that people were making a lot of money. This is an industry where people make millions of dollars. And it's just amazing how it's just a matter of just sharing, right? So in this case, you can share the product, which you would get $50 every time somebody buys the product, because the product is going to cost you about, $99 a month, right? I mean, it's going to cost you $150, and then the company's going to take 99, and you're going to take $50 and put in your pocket. Okay. Just by sharing the technology. But then when you become a business builder, you make something called residual income. And that's what I was talking about. And so those are some of the other ways that we get paid is residually when people become a part of a company, they get their product, get a subscription, and they send them the product every single month. Now, why they send the product? Number one, to use the product. Number two, to share the product, right? And then number three, so they have inventory for their business. At the minimum, you need to have some sort of inventory for your business. And so we encourage everyone to get 1 to 2 sleeves so you don't have to be stingy when you're talking to somebody about it. And they say, well, where is it? And what does it look like? And you're like, I don't know. No, you say, oh, here's some right here. You can utilize it right off the bat, right? You can share it with them right off the bat. And then you can help them to understand what this is all about. Okay. So what we do is we encourage you to share it. And we have several different ways that you can make money in this business. And it's very easy to get a return, as Lisa said earlier, to get a return on your investment. And so let me show you that real quick. I'm going to show you what it looks like. Hold on. So yes. So this is just give you an example of what it looks like. Let me get it home. Okay, so here we go. These are the 3 different ways that you get started. Okay, we have our core, our advanced, and our premium. The core is $295, and you get 3 sleeves or 3 months of products. Sleeves or months is kind of like the same concept. And so you can begin your journey there, getting the product, utilizing it, sharing with other people. And that's what I did, because initially I didn't really have anything that I felt that was pressing with my health. But what I did know is I knew lots of people who had some major pressing issues, right? And so I just gave it out. And then I started getting these messages early in the morning the next day, like, OMG, Erica, I slept better than I've slept in 10 years. I've never slept more than 4 hours. I slept 7 hours yesterday. Wow. Erica, I've been going up and down the steps. Usually I don't do that because my knee hurts me so bad. And I just kept getting these testimonies. And then my mother's arthritis is gone. My son's hip pain is decreased. My daughter's cramps from her cycle have been alleviated. And now I'm like, wait a minute. This is pretty powerful. So I just kept sharing. So for me, I'll tell you what package I chose, but you can get started for $295. And then once you can upgrade. That's the good part. You can definitely upgrade. And so that particular one would be our advanced. And this is the option that most business builders utilize, because it allows them to get all of the ways of pay. It allows them to get matching bonuses, which you will be able to get up to 65% matching bonuses, 3 levels deep, which if one person made $1,000 on one level, and again, this is an unlimited aspect of our compensation plan, then you would make what, 250. Okay. You would make $250 off that one person. Okay. And then if you had 10 people doing that, then obviously that would just be more money as you go along, which is amazing. If you can mute your line, I appreciate it. Thank you. All right. And so that's one of the ways we get paid. It's unlimited. Okay. But then also, as you begin to share it, people will want to join you. So you put a person on your left and you put a person on your right. Then you become binary qualified. And then when you add another person to those 2 levels, to those 2 sides, the left and the right, now you are able to get what we call residual income. Okay. And then that's when things go berserk. That's when you look up and somebody is in Hawaii talking about the product. They haven't even contacted you. You don't even know them. You do not know them. They literally have found out about this from somebody in your organization, and you're still going to benefit financially from this person utilizing the product, from this person sharing and creating a business and becoming a leader. You may not even know them, but you're still benefiting from them. And the good news is that we build this business together. Okay. So you're going to benefit from other people's effort, just like a team. When you're an athlete, you can be on the bench making $5 million. I promise you that's going on right here. On the bench, people are making millions of dollars. Okay. So now here we go. Also, for serious entrepreneurs, we have a 1750 option, and that gives you 20 sleeves of X39. Okay. And this is for someone that wants to accelerate and maximize the opportunity. And that's what I did. I just jumped in at the 1750 level. And that was because I understand this kind of industry, and I understand that he who has the most product makes the most too, right? Because then you can share it around, you can distribute, you can, help other teammates when they come in, and by letting them utilize some of the product until their product comes, because this is the reality. It takes 5 days for this product to come. In some cases, it may take 3 days, right? But when you tell somebody that this could help their vision or their hearing or their heart, as Heinz said, sometimes, guys, it is just a serious situation where they want it right away. Would you, if you were struggling in your health, would you want to wait several days for something to come? No, you do not. You want it right there, and you want it right then. I've had people I've called and they said, stop. In the middle of my conversation, say, Erica, bring it to me now. And I'm like, whoa, they're not playing with me. Please, please bring it to me now. I had people getting on planes calling me and saying, please, can you meet me at the airport? As Heinz was saying, the agent, can you meet me somewhere very quickly? I ran out of product. Please, can you help me? I'm going to Colombia and I want to have a good time while I'm there. Okay. So just know that he who has the most product wins, because when I have product, I always can help people. But if you don't have any product, then your help that you can provide is limited. So again, guys, what we're talking about is making an impact. And today, what we've showed you is how you can make an impact with anybody, but particularly with athletes who have gone through lots of struggles and lots of pain and suffering. They definitely are going to benefit from this product. So we want to encourage you to get off this line and share this with other people. This call is recorded, so I'll most definitely be able to share it with you all so that you can share with other people. But guys, I just want to say thank you for everyone who jumped on today. I see Mr. Hines is still there. Thank you, Mr. Hines. Thank you for jumping on, and thank you for saying
Thank
yes.
you.
Yes, you have helped so many people, and you have just built an organization within the company, and I appreciate you for that as well, and always being available. Thank you for helping
I
today.
want to thank
Thank you.
Erica. Everybody want to thank Erica for her leadership. Once again, we dealing with one of the greatest leaders in the industry. She's been very modest. She has helped a lot of people produce millions of dollars in the network industry. Okay, and so we want to thank you for your leadership and leading us. And like you said, everybody, just take it. Like I said, I can say so much. The most important thing is just get out and share. Sharing is caring. And just share, because like I said, you only have one life to live. Blessings. Thank you, Erica, for being our great leader. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, my pleasure. My pleasure. All right, guys, listen, everyone have a motivational day. It's Monday, and let's get going. Let's get out there and share the good news and things that we know that can help people change their lives. All right, everyone. Thank you. Have a great one. And if you are interested in getting more details, go to thisisit.info.com, and you can get all the details that you need about this particular product and business. All right. Thank you. Have a good one.